1. Off the top rope. Off the top rope. Off the top rope. That's right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to a special Off the Top Rope show. It's Dr. Fumes here. It's going to be me by myself on this one. That's a shame because it's been a very, very exciting week of wrestling. Yeah, if you guys haven't noticed, I am extremely tired. I'm actually recording this show in the middle of a shift at my job, so let's do this. Let's get to work. Okay, so AEW, their inaugural pay-per-view, Double or Nothing, was this past Saturday. For anyone that living under a rock and didn't hear about that, if you're a wrestling fan, then you should have heard about this. And I've been trying to think a lot about how I'm gonna go over this, like, new and original, in a way that other people haven't done it yet. And I decided that I'm just not really gonna spend a lot of time on it. It's just, if you haven't seen it yet, you should just get on that. Just watch it. Just show your support, please. I'm just gonna tell you right now, it's very good. Like, the hype is real. Everything you've read about it is true. It was amazing. It was exactly what it needed to be for AEW, for the Elite, for all those people involved in trying to promote that brand and just make it a big name. I'm telling you, just check it out. I'm just gonna go really very briefly over the show, just a few points of things I just want to say on it. All right, so it's this they keep billing it as the inaugural show for AEW, but All In was, I thought, the inaugural show. But I guess this one is, they're saying, the first show. And they also said something, too, about later on, it's two young guys have the first official AEW match. But technically, I thought the first in-canon AEW match was Hangman Adam Page versus Pac for that was a Dragon Championship. I don't remember exactly what it's called. I don't want to mess it up. The Dragon Championship. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. But I guess this is the first official AEW program. So anyways, it actually started with an hour-long special, the pre-show, on YouTube for free. So if you can check that out, it was, like everything else on this show, amazing. First was a Casino Battle Royal. The commentators, I gotta say, still a little green, but they did a good job. They did their best keeping up with everything. Jim Ross would come out later. That was pretty cool. He's kind of getting a little, I don't want, rusty on the mic. I don't know. There was some things that he kept saying. It was just seemed a little off, or just some of the things he just said was hard to follow. I wrote a couple things down here. We'll get to them. So Casino Battle Royale, the commentators had a rough time explaining the rules. They did. It more or less boiled down to, I think there was 5 people in the ring, and every 3 minutes 5 more people would come out. And there was there was 4 different groups, because there was 4 suits, each representing a suit of a deck of cards. So yeah, 5, 5, 5, 20, and then the Joker, the person that came in last, was 21. Even that sounded a little complicated. I'm not gonna lie, but it wasn't a hard foul. It was a pretty typical over the top rope battle royal rules. Otherwise, and there was spots on spots on spots. I'll tell you, man. Some notable wrestlers I want to point out for sure in that match were um, MJF, Maxwell Jacob Friedman. Definitely is going to be a great heel. Joey Janela, another one that I can see him becoming a good heel. Jimmy Havoc, I guess they kept saying it, legendary deathmatch wrestler from the UK. Sean Spears, formerly known as Ty Dillinger. Perfect 10. Still doing the 10 thing. They had fucking Billy Gunn in there. Tommy Dreamer, another old school classic. Avalanche, another classic wrestler. Some new guys. Jungle Boy, who evidently is the late Luke Perry's son. So that's pretty interesting. Luchasaurus, very impressed by him. He was amazing. Um, Definitely was happy when I saw that AEW signed him recently. Then had Billy Pillman Jr. was really was very good, and had one more dude that I can't remember his name right now, but it ended with Hangman Adam Page defeating Maxwell Jacob Friedman. Friedman was in the beginning of the Battle Royal to the end, so that's pretty notable. He has some shit that he could talk to everybody on that. Definitely some heel angles he can get to from there. Yeah, and I think that was a good booking just because I saw the match between Hangman Adam Page and Pac on YouTube. It's free. Again, just check it out. And they were supposed to have a match at AEW's Double or Nothing, but Pac was no go. I guess he just had some creative differences. So they booked Hangman Adam Page to win, which was, I guess, a last minute thing, but it was cool. He's cool. His finisher's sick. That slingshot lariat, the Buckeye lariat. That's a cool move. I'm a big lariat fan. Big lariat fan. So that was that. Then there was a backstage promo where they introduced a female wrestler by the name of Smiley Kylie Ray. And then there was a odd librarian off. So they were just this guy librarian and this girl librarian. I'm assuming they were both wrestlers, and they were both just shushing each other for a while. Yeah, I'm not familiar with most of these wrestlers. I'm not going to be familiar with most of these wrestlers. But I'm excited to become familiar with these wrestlers. I'm just excited for something new, like most people are, I think. So that was that promo. And then they showed a short promo for a match coming out a little later between Cody Rhodes and Dustin Rhodes. Nice little generational match promo. Like, it's been years in the making. They're pretty much having Dustin Rhodes, Goldust, the Natural. He's representing like WWE in the Attitude Era, and Cody Rhodes is the new guy, the younger brother. He's representing this newer era, which I think will probably become known as the All Elite era, but we'll see. Here's hoping. I mean, it's been like the Golden Era, and there was the Silver Era, then there was the Attitude Era, then there was the Ruthless Aggression Era. Then there's the current era right now. That's a PG era. It's WWE spiraling. The no competition era. That who knows? But now This right here, Double Nothing, is the dawn of a new era, and I think it should be known as the All Elite era. We'll see. Anyways, enough of that rant. The next was a match between two young dudes, a Sammy Guevara and a Kip Sabian. Um, Kip Sabian would come to win this match with his finisher. And like I said, I'm just not gonna go through much of it. It was amazing action throughout the whole match. And these are two cruiserweights. They're young kids. It was a good placement in the match. Like they're trying to promote their young stars. They're homegrown. Well, not really homegrown, because they were saying that Sammy Guevara is like a 9-time champ. He's won in a few different places. And it was just really good. They both put on a great match. There was an insane like spot of a shooting star press to the guillotine that Sammy Guevara did to Kip Sabian. That was crazy. JY was in the crowd too, I guess. Melanda pointed it out to me, but yeah. Moving on, they had a quick little promo of Sadie Gibbs, female wrestler that they're promoting. She looked like a beast. And then the next thing they had was Jim Ross come out to the commentary, making his way. Then there was another backstage promo, and I think this was supposed to be on the main show. I think they had a little problem with their editing. I'm pretty sure this was supposed to be on the main show, which is they had the backstage promo of Cody and they had Brandy Rhodes coming out of the car and Cody Rhodes, and then they had Kenny Omega memeing it up as per the usual. Had the Young Bucks. They just super kicked that guy out of nowhere. And there was the intro. Yeah. Pretty sure it was supposed to be in the main show, but had that on YouTube. It was a funny. They definitely threw a couple cheap shots at WWE on WWE's like obsession with attendance records and how many people they have, and always, let's say, obfuscating the attendance numbers. Yeah. Was it necessary? Probably not. Was it funny? Yeah. Yeah, it was funny. Moving on. And then it cut, like, near the end. Right after Brandy said it's like the all-inclusive, first all-inclusive wrestling pay-per-view. All sensory inclusive, whatever that means. Say a version where someone's sign languaging. Who knows? And then the AEW match started proper. And it was SoCal Uncensored versus Strong Hearts from OWE. And SoCal Uncensored, SCU, I'm familiar with two of those wrestlers, Christopher Daniels and Kazarian from TNA. I know them being very dope. They had a couple great matches with or Christopher Daniels especially had a couple great matches with AJ Styles that I have on DVD. And then they had their third member was Scorpio Sky, and he put off a huge Ricochet vibe. He's dope. He was crazy good. Strongheart, I thought they kept talking about OWE, but then they didn't really do much. The match itself was freaking crazy, but most of the craziest spots were done by SCU. They had a weird promo about how terrible Las Vegas is. SCU won with their finisher in an amazing match. 3-man tag team. Technically the first tag team. One of the commentaries said the first official tag team was later on. I don't know, semantics. whatever. Then there was the first women's match. There wasn't any solo women's matches in this. All like group efforts, which makes me a little nervous because that's kind of what WWE did with their women's division. Just always threw them in like big matches like this. Um, gonna be the biggest competitor, Nyla Rose. And she looked pretty diesel. Let me just say. Then they had Britt Baker, DMD. She's a dentist, like an official dentist. Come out, and it was gonna be them three at first. But then Brandy Rose comes out, and you think she was gonna be in the match. She's in full gear. It was very. I think that was another cheap shot at WWE. I think they were making fun of Stephanie McMahon there. I don't know. Take it as you will. But she tricked us all, and she actually announced a secret competitor by the name of Awesome Kong. And Awesome Kong is another wrestler I'm familiar with from TNA, and she was a monster. She was yeah, she came in looking very intimidating, and Nyla Rose towered over the other two competitors, but she towered over Nyla Rose. It was definitely a spectacle. The match ended up finishing with Awesome Kong and Nyla Rose kind of taking each other out of the match, knocking each other out on the side, and then Kylie Rae and Britt Baker actually put on a pretty good show in the middle of the ring for a little bit, but it finished with Britt Baker using her finisher to end Kylie's smiling parade. But it was a great match. Decisive wins, and this is good so far. These have all been decisive wins. I don't need no bullshit. Okay, I mean they needed to put on great matches. That's all they needed to do, and so far this is what they've been doing. Then they had the third. What was the second one? Oh yeah. So then it was the third backstage promo. And this was some just little build up between Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho. Nothing much really happened. Then it went on to technically the first official tag team match between the Best Friends and Jack Evans versus, I should say, Jack Evans and Angelico. He's not a Spanish man, but he trained in Mexico, so they wore some highlighter outfits. It was another great match. You don't know these guys. You need to get familiar with them because these are all competitors. And it ended with the Best Friends decisively getting their finisher on there on Jack Evans Angelico. I don't remember who got pinned. And the Best Friends won. They did a huge bro hug in the middle of the ring. Everyone loved it. And then the crowd was amazing throughout this whole show, I gotta say. And then the Best Friends hit their finisher, pinned them, and after that, the lights turned out, and this unknown team came out. And one of the announcers, the luchador, Excalibur, clearly knew who they were. He was trying his best to hide it, but I think he was instructed to not say anything. Then the lights went out again, and this huge group of masked gimps were around the ring. They attacked all the wrestlers, and they cleaned house, did some finishers on everyone. It was pretty cool. And then it ended with the gimps making a human throne for one of the wrestlers to sit in. It was very weird, but I liked it. It was different. You don't see that shit on WWE, that's for sure. Oh man. And then they had a promo for All Out, which is their fourth, technically fifth pay-per-view that they're going to have. But there's two more in between this. They already have the next one announced, which is called Fyter Fest, which is going to be a joint venture between AEW and CEO Gaming. For anyone that doesn't know what CEO Gaming is, it's actually a video game tournament, specifically a fighting game tournament. And I follow fighting games. I've followed them for a long time now. I played them competitively online mainly. I've been to a couple tournaments. Big fighting game fan still to this day. And if you guys never seen it, the New Day actually put on the New Day and the Young Bucks with Kenny Omega put on kind of like a pseudo wrestling match between the two teams with using Street Fighter V. If you don't know, Kenny Omega's finisher, V-Trigger, one of them that's from Street Fighter V. The other one's from Final Fantasy VII, One Winged Angel. Anyways, they put on like a match with them playing Street Fighter between the New Day and the Elite, and there was like sandbagging, there was like epic comebacks, and it was a great, like, well done. There was trash talk. There was like, I will use my right hand to fight now kind of stuff going on, and it was awesome. And they said more to come. They never really did anything else. But the point of it is that fighting games are the community, the people that play fighting games and watch them, and the wrestling community are very similar. They're your fans. The people that are fans of these fighting games also are fans of wrestling. It's like a 1-1 comparison. The CEO tournament is set up like a wrestling pay-per-view. Like the two competitors, they play each other in a ring. They come out to music as there's an entrance, and like it's set up. I actually think one of the organizers, Jabali, is having a match. I guess he's a wrestler. Good for him. That's pretty cool, actually. Yeah. So there's that one. There's a Fight for the Fallen they're doing, and then it's All Out, which I guess is the sequel to their non-canon first official pay-per-view, All In. But whatever. It's a little rant I just wanted to go on. Then we had a 3-on-3 women's tag team match between all these Japanese competitors through another one of their sister promotions. I don't remember the name of this one, but we had Rio, the champ. Looks like she's been holding those belts for a while. Original 2 belts? Rio 2 belts? I don't know. And they had Rio Mizunami, the resident powerhouse of the team. And then we had Hikaru Shida. And she looked very intelligent. Rio did too. And they were going against Yuka Sakazaki, also very intelligent, more cute. She was more cute. And evidently the mentor for Rio and Hikaru, Emi Sakura, came out with a mustache and a cane. And then there was their final teammate, Aja Kong. I'm not familiar with her, but evidently she's a very famous, a legendary female wrestler from Japan, who one of the only female wrestlers to main event the Tokyo Dome, which that's definitely, I know for a fact, is a great accomplishment. So Jim Ross especially was like very excited to call one of her matches. So I mean, he knows about her. This match, it was good. It was crazy hype. There was one mistake near the end with the referee accidentally hit the 3 when she only meant to do 2, and the ring bell guy hit his bell, and they started to play the music real quick, but they cut it while the ref's like, no, 2, 2, 2, 2, and like all the women wrestlers like played it cool though. They kept the match going. I mean, they did their best to keep the show must go on. Other than that, it was a good match. Like these 6 women, I should say. They were going balls to the wall. They were going boobs to the tubes. Yeah, like I'm telling you, just watch all these matches. It ended up with Hikaru Shida getting her finisher on, I believe it was her mentor, Emi Sakura. And, yeah, the crowd ended up chanting, "You fucked up," to the bell guy. They were pretty mad at that. Everyone was, but life goes on. And then there was finally one of the first. I would say there's 3 headliners to this pay-per-view. This is the first one, Cody Rhodes versus Dustin Rhodes. This was probably the most obvious cheap shot at WWE, where they had a throne set up right at the entrance that was very reminiscent of Triple H's throne from from WrestleMania. Cody just walked by it. Cody and Brandy. So then Brandy goes underneath the ring and pulls out. What do you think she pulled out? She pulled out a sledgehammer. And then Cody grabbed the sledgehammer, walked back up the entrance ramp, and proceeded to smash the chair, the throne. It was a little cringy, I'm not gonna lie. It kind of reminded me of the scene from Game of Thrones final episode where the dragon sees what Jon Snow did after killing Daenerys, his mom, and instead of killing Jon Snow or just flying off, it melts the Iron Throne for no reason. Like, this is what you want? It was all for this. You killed my mom for this. That was. Oh, it kind of reminded me of that, where he's just like, "This is screw you, Hunter. Fuck you, Vince. I'm doing it myself." Oh well. No, I didn't need it, but it happened. On to the real match. Like I said, Attitude Era versus All Elite Era. Brandy Rhodes ended up getting ejected, and Diamond Dallas Page carried her out for some reason. It was pretty funny. This match, just watch it. It was brutal. It was very Attitude Era-esque, bloody, emotional. WWE has never in my life put on quite a match with that much emotional stake to it. And that's like the first match I've seen with their feud. Like, holy shit. Like, I've barely seen anything for this other than All In and the Road to Double or Nothing. Yeah, ended up with Cody Rhodes wins after hitting like 4 crossroads. Oh, man. And after destroying his brother, he asked him to be his tag team partner for another pay-per-view coming. So, I probably would have said no, and maybe I would have needed some more convincing if I was Goldust, but, he said yeah. Whatever. And then there was the AEW title presentation by Bret the Hitman Hart. Very unexpected. Crowd got hype. Vince must have been pissed. Oh my god, they buried the hatchet, didn't they? Guess not. And let me tell you, let me just tell you what happens first. Adam Page comes out, Hangman Page. He gets interrupted by Maxwell Jacob Friedman real quick. And MJF made a joke, like, watch out. It's like to Bret Hart, like, oh, watch out, Bret, is the fan coming in? And I've seen the clip of the fan tackling Bret Hart. And I gotta say, he kind of looks like Maxwell Jacob Friedman. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but if that really was a work between him and Bret Hart on a live televised or telecast, I should say, WWE program, fucking A. Like, hats off, bravo. You guys are amazing. Like, that's such a great, like, middle finger to Vince McMahon. And MJF, you are a hero. You are a damn champion in my book. You will always be a champion. That's amazing. Then Jungle Boy comes out, interrupts him, and Jimmy Havoc come out, and they both attack MJF, blah, blah, blah. Bret Hart shows the AEW title. It looks beautiful. It looks very heavy. It looks very heavy. It looked like they were both struggling to carry that. Him and the ring announcer dude. But it was a proper looking title. It had the AEW logo in there, but it wasn't the centerpiece. Because, like, the WWE titles, for a purely business sense, just, like, as a way to make sure everyone knows that, yeah, these are the WWE titles, it works. You definitely know they're the WWE titles. It's pretty prominently displayed on the front. The AEW, but from an aesthetic point of view, they're ugly. They're very ugly. It's like that logo is so big. There's nothing else. It's too. I like simple designs too, but it's too simple. It's ugly. Yeah. AEW belt is definitely not simple design. It's very intricate. There's a lot of details in there. But it looks nice. It looks very nice. I wouldn't mind having a replica of that belt. And then it was the Young Bucks versus the Lucha Bros for the AAA tag titles. I'm not really going to go over this match a lot. There were some more cheap shots at the WWE in the beginning of this one. This is one of the most amazing matches I've ever seen in my entire life. Period. I don't think I'm ever going to be able to keep up with the tags. I couldn't in any of these tag matches. Who was legal, who wasn't. Jim Ross kept going off about how the rules here are cool. If they follow them, then he'll be impressed. We'll see. I ended up with the Young Bucks hitting one of their many finishers on one of the Lucha Bros, and they're pinning them to retain their titles. Here's one of the weird lines that Jim Ross said. He said, "The great teams in your NFLs and Tag Team X." I don't know who he was talking about. And then there was the final main event of the night, which is Kenny Omega versus Chris Jericho. And this is another great match. I didn't expect Chris Jericho to win, I'll be honest, but he did. He won with his new finisher, the Judas Effect. I don't like it. I don't like any. I don't really like many finishers just like that style. Just like a quick strike. It's just too quick and easy. Like, why don't you just throw it in the beginning of the match? Like, what's the point of waiting for the end? Like, and it looks pretty devastating. Don't get me wrong. Like, that would be a realistic in real life finisher, I guess. But you wouldn't throw that. You would try and set that up pretty quick to end the match, to end a fight fast. Like the Superman punch, at least he has to do like 10 times before it does as effective on anybody. But like still, like moves like that, I'm not a huge fan of, unless they need some setup or like, but whatever. I digress. It was an amazing match. Kenny Omega did his job to introduce himself to this American audience, and he did it damn well. Chris Jericho's the biggest star they have, and they're gonna put. It seems like they're gonna put the company on his shoulders for a little bit. They're setting up him versus Hangman Adam Page at the next pay-per-view for the AEW title. I think Adam Page is gonna win. We'll see. Chris Jericho, they might have him win just because he is the biggest name that they have. But then the second biggest name that they have came out. One John Moxley, a.k.a. or FKA, Dean freaking Ambrose, came out and attacked Chris Jericho. Attacked the referee. Tried to give a dirty deeds to Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega stuffed him. They fought out to the ring. Crowd was wild even after all this. And it finished with a dirty deeds on top of the giant fake poker chips, and then John Moxley throwing Kenny Omega off onto some glass looking thing, and that was it. The end of one of the most amazing wrestling experiences you'll ever have witnessed. It truly is the beginning of a new era in wrestling. I'm excited. So moving on though. After what is that? Probably, I spent about 37 minutes talking about that. What do you think SmackDown would have done? Like, you think they would have really tried to put on their best effort? I think they should have tried to put on their best effort. But WWE doesn't. I don't know. I don't know what the problem is. I mean, I'm just going to say it. Both Raw and SmackDown were just bad. They were both just bad. AEW was so good, and they really needed to have good shows. They both really needed to have good shows, but they didn't do it. I don't know what to say. First of all, there's 6 wild cards again on Raw. I don't even care anymore. I didn't even count them for SmackDown. It's stupid. Wild card was stupid. It's the same people every time. How is it a wild card if it's the same people? So, Kofi Kingston comes out first. Seth Rollins comes out. Then Brock Lesnar comes out. And Paul Heyman. And then Seth Rollins leaves. And then Brock leaves. And then Kofi's attacked by Dolph Ziggler. Then Xavier Woods comes out to help Kofi. And then they walk off the ramp. And then it cuts to a commercial. And then it's the same segment. And Dolph attacks them from behind. And Dolph and Woods start to brawl. And they go at it. And it goes to a commercial. And then it's the same segment again. And it's just Dolph Ziggler whining. This shit was way too long. It was ridiculous. This shit was like it lasted through 2 commercial breaks. This was, oh my gosh, it took so long for this to end. It was the worst possible introduction to WWE that they could have done. And then, you know what they do? You know what they do instead of having a match? They do this really long, drawn-out promo for Triple H versus Randy Orton at Super Showdown. And all it is rehashing their Evolution rivalry, and it's horrible. And they're making Triple H the babyface? If that's how I'm interpreting it, I think that's how I'm interpreting it. That's accurate. My God. I guess whatever. Then they had Shane McMahon and Drew McIntyre come out, and then they left. And then they came out again. And Shane McMahon started talking, getting boos, and chants of boring, rightfully so, because that shit was... Get him off. He's just like they're trying to make him the new Mr. McMahon. That's why they turned him heel. And then they had Lance Anui, which was one of Roman Reigns' siblings, come out. And Drew McIntyre attacked him, threw him in the ring. Shane McMahon started the match because he's the boss. He can do whatever he wants, evidently, but not really. Because, rules don't matter to him unless he thinks they should matter or he forgets. That's what we need. They're just cartoonish. He's just cartoonishly bad, and it's stupid. Because then he wins using Chris Jericho's finisher, might I add. He stole it. He wins using Chris Jericho's finisher, and he starts to beat up Lance some more until Roman Reigns comes out like a superhero to save the day. And it was just bad. They're gonna make me start booing this cancer survivor. For real, this is ridiculous. I'm supposed to cheer this guy on. You guys are gonna make me boo him. This is just stupid. This is childish nonsense. Then they had Brock Lesnar come out again with Paul Heyman when Seth comes out. And this is dumb. Brock Lesnar didn't read his contract. I didn't like any of this stuff. The dancing in the beginning, some people thought it was funny. I thought it was all stupid. Maybe AEW was just so good that I'm just looking at WWE's product so negatively now. But oh well. Then a 24 title segment, also dumb. AJ Styles interview, he gets attacked by Baron Corbin. He's injured, he's not going to be in a match later. Becky Lynch with Nikki Cross versus the Iconics. Becky Lynch pins Peyton Royce. Lacey comes out and leaves again. It just all seems so lame after witnessing what I witnessed on AEW's Double or Nothing pay-per-view. Then there was the Fatal 4, the elimination match that AJ Styles was supposed to be in. But he was replaced with Corbin. And guess who won? Baron Corbin. Yeah, he won. He pinned Miz. He's going to be in a match versus Seth Rollins for the Universal title in Super Showdown. I don't care. And here's the first good segment. Oh, I forgot to say, I saw all this on Hulu. I didn't even see the full Raw show, because 3 hours is just, especially after watching 3 amazing hours worth of AEW, it was 4. Closer to 5. But after watching that, I just, if WWE doesn't think it's important, I don't think it's important. I did run through some of the stuff I didn't see. They had an episode of the Firefly Funhouse. That was really good. Check it out. It's on YouTube. I'm not going to go over it. It was really good. Then Sami Zayn had his electric chair interview. There's a new segment with Corey Graves asks people in the audience that all their questions seem... They're supposed to be able to ask anything they want. It was supposed to be controversial, but it seems really staged still. Like, Sami Zayn referenced AEW. I feel like he said that because they wanted him to say it. I don't know, because there was definitely some AEW chants going on. Then they had Sami Zayn versus Seth Rollins match, which just... It was like, kind of... Like, since they're both in the ring, we're going to do it. So we're led to believe that there was no main event scheduled for this Raw. Because this was an impromptu main event. It was a great match. It was almost like them two are single-handedly trying to compete against AEW. Oh well. Sami Zayn lost. Actually, I don't even know. I don't even write what happened in the end because I think I just stopped caring. Some of the stuff that I didn't see that they didn't put on was Cesaro versus Ricochet. They had a great match. I ended up seeing it. It was good. It wasn't too long. Some pretty cool spots. Ricochet ended up winning. I hate 50-50 booking. Ricochet lost last week, wins this week. It's whatever. Rey Mysterio's injured, has to relinquish his title. Samoa Joe says he wants it. That's all I missed. That's an hour and a half. That's an hour and a half worth of shit, I guess. Oh well. Then SmackDown, like I said, it was started with Kofi and Dolph, and it should have been me. It was laughable. Then they had Kofi Kingston versus Kevin Owens to start the match. It was actually a pretty good match. The commentary was bad, as per the usual. There was a long segment where Kevin Owens was talking in the beginning, and I was thinking in my head what the commentary said exactly at the same moment, and he said, "Can we please just get on to the match?" It was funny as hell. It was like the voices of people. Like, yes, please just get on to the match. In the background, there was a couple signs that say it was Triple H, and someone drew the Cody sipping coffee sign. Drew it on a sign. I think they kicked those guys out. Oh well. Ended up winning with Kofi Kingston. He's in trouble in paradise. Clean victory over Kevin Owens. I feel like Kevin Owens should have fought Xavier Woods. Maybe make it a little more interesting. Oh well. There was backstage promo, Dolph Ziggler looking on, and it showed Shane, Drew, and Elias. Evidently, we're going to have Shane Appreciation Night. I don't care. Shane, get off the show. Some 24/7 title stuff. Danny O'Brien and Rowan came out. They had a little promo. They were supposed to wrestle some people. And Danny O'Brien actually got very political, and I liked it. He's talking about fracking. Heavy Machinery came out, though, and they were supposed to be the people that like fracking, I guess. Then they actually didn't even have a match, so psych. Then there's a little backstage promo with Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville, and they have, like, no chemistry for a tag team. If that's been as long together as they have. They're, like, very robotic. It was, like, I can't believe they're pushing Mandy Rose this much, because she ended up having a match against Carmella next, and she won clean. Oh, it wasn't too clean. She ran after, like, a distraction from the apron, but still, she won. Another backstage promo, 24 tag segment. Then the Shane McMahon Appreciation Night. Let's cut all that little blah blah sounds out. Shane McMahon Appreciation Night. Then it cut to a commercial, then they had Aleister Black promo. And the Aleister Black promo was just pretty much him whining about how he wants a match. How he wants to have someone to wrestle against, and no one wants to wrestle against him. It's just like Vince McMahon's just trolling Triple H. Like, your characters, all your dudes are bitches. Like, I'm gonna make one of your coolest guys beg for matches because no one's seen him on TV wrestling in so long. Then there was, for real, the appreciation night. It was a cool promo of it, at least. They're. It seems like their long con, the story that they're gonna promote is like a Samoan family versus the McMahon family kind of legacy angle with Roman Reigns, and I don't think it's gonna work. They're gonna ruin this, like they ruin everything. R-Truth came out, gets his ass beat by Drew and Elias. Elias is new 24/7 champion, but not for long. Because later on we would have Shane McMahon would announce that Roman Reigns and R-Truth would go against Drew McIntyre and the new 24/7 champ Elias. And Shane McMahon suspended the rules of the 24/7 championship. That's right. He suspended the rules of the 24/7 championship. So evidently, it's 24/7 parentheses, or whenever Shane decides it's not going to be in parentheses championship. I don't even know what to say. He suspended only for the match, but still, to the end of the match. But yeah. Then there was Charlotte Flair and a Becky Lynch, or a Lacey Evans, promo backstage. And Bayley had a match with Lacey Evans. She's the SmackDown champ, if you didn't know. She won after giving Charlotte Flair a cheap shot. Shit was mad funny. Lacey Evans actually got a pin on her, and I hate the fact that they always make Bayley look weak. That she never really wins clean. Even last time when she was the champ, she never won clean. I don't know why they do that to her. Lacey ends up blindsiding Charlotte after seeing that, and Charlotte quickly buries Lacey Evans. So, screw you, I guess. Blonde on blonde violence. Then there were some more promos for Triple H and Randy Orton and Super Showdown. Then there was some backstage promos with Andrade, Zelina Vega, how they're going to wrestle against the Demon. They did a promo to Finn Balor's poor back after Money in the Bank. And then it was the main event, Roman Reigns, R-Truth versus Drew McIntyre and Elias. Yeah, it was garbage. And right after the match is over, Roman Reigns, superhero saves the day, spears Elias twice, R-Truth pins Elias and regains his title. Absolute garbage. Finally, our gem at the end of the week. The mouthwash to rinse the terrible taste of SmackDown and Raw out of our mouths, which is the golden standard NXT. It's an hour of pure joy. I'll go through this really quick. I'm about to end this. I've been ranting and rambling for almost an hour now. We had the first match was Mia Yim versus Bianca Belair. Yim actually won with her finisher clean against Bianca Belair. I was very surprised about that. It was a really good match. Then we had a Velveteen Dream promo where he buried Tyler Breeze, showed how much of a joke he was on WWE and why we shouldn't take him seriously, and he's kind of right. There's a little backstage promo with Shayna Baszler and her horsewomen. There's a match between Kushida and Drew Gulak. Kushida would win in a roll-up pin. It was a really weird roll-up pin. It was a really great match. I wish it was a clean pin, but oh well. Then there's a little backstage promo with Io Shirai, and I don't know who the blonde girl was. I think it was Johnny Gargano's wife. I'm not sure. A little promo with, about Johnny Gargano, the NXT champ, versus Adam Cole 2. I'm going to go see that match live in Bridgeport, Connecticut. Very excited. Me and Mulanda probably going to lose our voices. Definitely get ready for a review of that. coming this weekend. And then there was the main event match of the night was Oni Lorcan and Danny Burch versus the Forgotten Sons. These are two teams that are going to be in the 4-team ladder match at that NXT TakeOver pay-per-view this Saturday. The other two being the Street Profits and Alex O'Reilly and Bobby Fish of Undisputed Era. This would be a pretty good match, kind of standard affair. Nothing too crazy going on. They're trying to save themselves for this next pay-per-view. And then and I'm not sure, I don't really know what happened between the members of the Forgotten Sons, but their leader kind of was leaving and walking away, and then he got blindsided by the Street Profits. Fans were chanting, "Thank you, Profits." It's pretty funny. And then they went into the ring and started attacking the other two guys, everyone else. And then Undisputed Era came out and absolutely cleaned house. All 4 members, the entire Undisputed Era came out and just destroyed everybody, took everybody out, put the ladder on top. Adam Cole went on top of the ladder. Everyone's standing beside, got the mic, said they're coming after all their competition, and they're going to win. Undisputed Era is fucking sick. NXT is the gold standard of WWE. The only competition as far as quality of the wrestling product that AEW has, in my opinion. Just WWE has the big names and recognition. Kids love it. Yeah. That was this week's worth of wrestling. There's some news. There's always some news. The main one I want to talk about is whether or not AEW and WWE are actually working together. This is all work to just try and build up more notoriety for wrestling, try and help Vince make more billions. I don't think so. I really don't think so. This is the new Wrestling War. Wrestling Wars 2, WW2. All Elite Era starts now, friends. With that, this is Dr. Fumes, and I am signing out. I'm gonna get pinned to bed. Hopefully I catch some Z's.